Hey everybody, today is a cool autumn morning here in Australia, and I'm going to be showing you exactly what comes in the Nintendo Switch 2 box here in Australia, and also the Nintendo Switch Online exclusive GameCube controller. So it's already January 5th here in Australia. I went ahead and picked this console up at EB Games at my local store, and I swiftly brought it home with me to have a look inside. I went ahead and picked up the Mario Kart World bundle, so this is the exact same as the regular Switch 2, except it comes with a digital download code for Mario Kart World, which I will show you later. Here you can see everything is all nicely wrapped and packed in this fairly small box actually. Here we can take a look at the iconic red, almost orange Joy-Con controller. It is quite a bit bigger than the original Switch Joy-Con controls. It feels a lot nicer to hold in the hand, especially if you're somebody like me who has a bit of a bigger palm. My initial impression is that the stick feels really nice. And here we have the left side, the baby blue color, also with a nice firm stick. The buttons also feel pretty good to press. Overall, these feel quite a lot bigger than the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con controllers. They feel very high quality. Everything feels very robust and firmly built. Feels very nice in the hands. It's got a sort of a matte finish as well. I'll put these two aside and we can pull out what looks like the screen for the Nintendo Switch 2, which it looks massive in my hand. This is a lot bigger than the Nintendo Switch 1. On the back here you can see the nice Nintendo Switch 2 logo, as well as this stand, which is a new addition to the Nintendo Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 1 did also have a stand like this, but not quite as wide-reaching. This one looks like it would hold up a little bit better. I do prefer this design over the Nintendo Switch 1, which just had a small little leg on the right side. Let's put that over there. Now, one big change is the connectivity between the Joy-Cons and the Switch 2. On this console, they just magnetically attach. I just move them right by here and they just slot right in. Now, this feels way bigger in the hands than the Nintendo Switch 1. This console is giant compared to the Nintendo Switch 1. So next we have this cardboard sleeve. Inside here is where you will find your copy of Mario Kart World if you did pre-order the bundle, as well as some important information regarding the Nintendo Switch 2 itself, and this very nice ultra high speed HDMI cable. You're definitely going to need this for the 4K gaming you might be doing at 60 frames per second on this high powered console. And then we have these cute little attachments as well. These attach to the Joy-Cons if you want to use them on their own, almost like a Wiimote with the wrist strap. It feels quite nice in the hand. Nintendo has gone above and beyond to make sure this whole thing feels very robust and firm. Nothing here feels cheap, and this certainly feels like it would be a very comfortable way to play. Underneath the cardboard sleeve, we have a few more goodies tightly packed into the bottom of this box. Starting off with the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con holster. Now the Nintendo Switch 1 also came with one like this, but this one is notably bigger to fit the bigger Joy-Cons, and with a satisfying snap, these fit right into the holster magnetically. To release the Joy-Cons from the system or from any controller holster that may be holding them, there's a button on the back of the controller right here that you can just squeeze in gently and it'll pop right out. Honestly, I wasn't sure how these magnets would feel when I was looking at the presentation, but they feel really sturdy. I have no doubts in my mind that these magnets will hold. This default Nintendo Switch 2 controller does feel a lot better than the Nintendo Switch 1 controller, if only because of the size. I do personally prefer a bit of a bigger controller, and the Nintendo Switch 1 controller was really tiny, so it's nice to play with the buttons a bit further apart. Next in the box we have an AC adapter. Obviously this one is an Australian one, as I'm buying this one in Australia, and you can see that it's just a standard USB-C to USB-C adapter. We've got the adapter itself and the cable separate, so I'm sure you could interchange this with your USB-C to USB-C cord of your choosing. And last but not least, the final piece of the puzzle, we have the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. And you can see here we've got this base plate, which I'm not actually sure how to detach. Oop, okay. Maybe don't do what I did there. Don't pull from the bottom here. You can see here we've got ports for the AC adapter as well as the HDMI port. And after having a quick look at this base plate, I can see that you need to attach it from the bottom first and then push it into the top. And if you want to take it back out, just pull it gently from the top and the thing will pop out. And that's everything in the Nintendo Switch 2 box. Let's have a look at the Nintendo Switch Online GameCube controller. Just from looking at this controller, we can see that it looks just like a default indigo colored GameCube controller. And pulling it out, I already do notice a few differences. The shell of this controller seems like it's a little bit more matte, like it's made out of almost a different kind of plastic, and has a bit of a different texture to the regular default GameCube controller, but it does feel pretty good and very high quality as well. Almost all of the buttons feel exactly how you'd expect a GameCube controller to feel, except the Z button here feels a bit more like a mouse button clicking in, which I think is honestly a welcome change compared to what it was like on the original controller, so this is a nice design change. You can see here it's got a bit more of a matte finish. Feels nice to touch, honestly. I might even prefer this over the default GameCube controller feel. The triggers themselves feel nice to push in. Overall, it feels quite good. I can't wait to play some Nintendo Switch Online classic games on the GameCube controller. And here in the bottom of the box, you can see that it comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable for charging your controller and connecting it to the dock. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this quick informational video. I'll have some more videos about the Nintendo Switch up on the channel soon, so please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already, and I will see you all soon. Ciao for now.